Sometimes it takes a second for YouTube to register.
Yeah, I got you.
There's like a streaming delay for some reason. I don't know why it does this. Okay, I think we should be good.
All right, cool.
All right, so okay, so if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, your name, the school you run for, maybe some background, maybe something fun about yourself, like a hobby outside of running or school or something like
All right,
that.
cool.
All right,
Oh, yeah, got it.
so
All right. Well, what's up, everyone? My name is David Zuniga. I come from the South Texas. I currently run Division 1 cross country and track and field at UTSA, University of Texas San Antonio. And I'm originally from more of a border town, and just I feel like everything that I've learned from being from a small environment has helped build me up to who I am today. Just all the close knit family, and maybe not having as much as bigger cities, and just working with what we have just definitely helped make me who I am today.
I got you. So what was so you think like the biggest transition from moving to a smaller town like was a smaller town in Texas?
Yeah, for sure. Just like I said, maybe not as much like opportunity down here as there is like over in like bigger cities like up north in Texas. So, I mean, I'm from, or my dad's more of a government job, so we've had to move around. So I've experienced two different kinds of communities, so
I got you.
yeah.
So but you'd say like the biggest transition is just the size of like the environment you grow up in and they like
Mhm.
just the like I don't know if UTSA is, I mean obviously it's University of Texas San Antonio, so the San Antonio isn't like it's a pretty big city. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not small at all. It might not be as big as like other major cities like Houston, but it's still a
Yeah.
big city. I mean, you still got like for a city to host a MLB, an NBA, or an NFL team, it has to be, like some kind of
Yeah. It could be, yeah.
capacity. So, and the Spurs are there. So,
Mm.
but yeah, I mean, I feel like grow like because I was in the kind of the same transition you were in, and I feel like growing up in a smaller town and moving, exactly when you are turned like 18 or 19 years old, and then there's this huge transition. It's like sometimes it can be really overwhelming at first, but you get used to it eventually, and you figure out how to navigate the ways of like, oh shoot, I gotta be across campus at this time, and but
Yeah.
I haven't even had lunch yet, so I gotta like figure out. I'm like, am I gonna like go to the store really quick to get some lunch so I can like eat right before my class, something like that. But I'm sure you figured that out so far. But
Yeah.
anyways, enough about that. Let's talk about this past year's performances for you and like I mean, I feel like nowadays everybody can kind of. I feel like you've heard of the word trackflation, like
Oh, yeah.
the like the common term of like fast times are just normal nowadays. But I
Mhm.
think regardless of trackflation, like 4:12 was a mile in freshman year is still it's still moving. Like you got to be doing a lot of right things in your training, and not just in your training, but outside of your training, like eating well,
Yeah.
sleeping well. Also staying on top of school because as we both know, if you're not academically eligible, you're not athletically eligible. So
Yeah.
let's talk about like what what were your daily habits that allowed you to, run that fast?
I mean, honestly, it was just a culmination of consistency, just showing up whenever you like. I just knew I was just tired. I wanted to be so like in my bed asleep, but just going in, putting in the hours, putting in the miles with the guys, and just hitting the workouts hard, hitting the easy days easy, and just trusting the process the whole way through. Because I know definitely not everything seems so appeasing, and not everything sounds like it's easy to chew and just to do, But also comes down to having the right mentality to race. Because when I did that, it was at conference, and my conference is pretty rough. It's pretty stacked, and it was just for a prelim too. Because my PR before that in the full mile indoors was 4:20.
Wow.
So it was, yeah, it was just a matter of just going out and competing and just holding on for dear life. I'm not gonna lie. So it's
Yeah.
just, yeah,
Yeah,
just
and for those that don't know, I don't like there's a few people that watch the podcast or, watch my content that aren't necessarily into track specifically, but they're more in the broader general of like fitness. And I would say like if you're not that uh in depth of the track world, like going from 420 to 412 is a crazy gap in one setting. Like shaving 8 seconds off when you get to sub 420 is like you're either cheating or you just had one of the best races of your entire life. And
yeah,
so it's like I mean, there's only like a once in a lifetime opportunity where you get to do that. That's specifically for you, like each individual runner, and it's really hard to replicate that kind of success. And then also it even gets harder. You hit 412, and it's like, what are the odds you're gonna hit another 8 second PR from 412 to 404? Like
yeah.
not very, not that likely. So, um, but yeah, like 412 in a prelim, and that was kind of needed because in the American conference,
Yeah, the
yeah,
American.
the American conference. Like, I mean, I know, what's the school? I know I don't know specifically what school is usually on the top of the distance side in the American conference itself, but I know like Memphis is a really good school. I know that Tulsa in the
Yeah, Tulsa.
Tulsa's a really good school.
Tulsa's a really good school.
Um, there's a few other, but anyways, they're all schools that have distance guys that they supply like at least one sub 4 miler every year. Like
Hmm.
it's not obviously it's not as big as like the SEC or ACC, but you're still
Yeah.
like to get to the conference final. I mean, you probably know this, but if I had to take a guess, it was probably like. Honestly, as a question, did you? I think you did end up getting to the conference final. Yes. No.
Nah, no.
No.
But
Okay.
that time it was a no go
Really?
because
So
yeah,
412 didn't even make it. So it was like
no,
four.
you had to run like 406, 407 to make it.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was
Wow.
already like, I was like, even though I PR'd at the end of the day, I was still like kind of mad that that it went out like that and that I didn't have more in the tank. But I mean, you can only do so much in one race, right? And
Dude,
yeah,
yeah. I don't know how you can be mad at going from 420 to 412, but I'm actually surprised that I was gonna say it like at the like the fastest it was gonna be, or I guess technically you could think of it as the slowest it was gonna be. It was like 409, but 406. That's crazy, especially
it was like
for
406, 407.
a
Yeah.
mid-major conference. Like, and
Mhm.
it's a championship race too. So like, you would think
Yeah,
that.
and the funny thing is, it was like tactical. We had Charlotte's also in our conference, so they had
Oh
like two. Yeah, they had like two sub four guys,
yeah,
and just I mean, they're easily chilling at like 408 pace, so they were just waiting to kick it and just secure the spots. But I just had to roll with them.
Yeah, no, that's insane. I mean, yeah, 406. Wow. So yeah, definitely trackflation has hit the American Conference, but
Mhm.
um, I mean, I wouldn't say that you should be discouraged at all because you still walked away at the meet with a were you technically all American Conference? That's a little weird to say. All American Conference. Like
Yeah,
you can say you're all American, but you're not really all American. You're all American Conference.
yeah,
You were technically all American Conference in the DMR, right?
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, like successful outing. I mean, I don't know what you split or what leg were you, anyways.
Oh, it was all like it all came down to like if I made the final for the mile or not, if I was gonna get thrown in. So I didn't, unfortunately. So I went
Oh,
in, and it was a big like coin flip on whether I was gonna do the mile or the 1200 leg.
mm-hmm.
And I've never done the 1200 leg in my life, but that day was the day. So got thrown in, and I just went with it.
Okay. So you ran the 1200 leg.
Yeah, I ran the
Yeah.
1200 leg.
Do
I
you,
split. I split like a 303, but I went through it like two flat, 159.
that's not bad.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
good. That's like you know what your this is such a weird split, but you know what your 1K split was?
I think it was like a 231.
Okay.
If I and it was yeah, it was like after the mile too, a good bit. So
Yeah. Do
I
you
don't know.
you think like let's just say okay, so you said the DMR was after the mile. So number okay,
Yeah,
no, this question won't even apply. I was gonna say that if you just ran the DMR on a separate day and you did a 1200 leg and you went through at 303, I was gonna say theoretically speaking, what do you think you could have like if you ran like a full mile after I just kept going, what do you think you would run? But
I don't know, man, because it's that last lap that I think would for sure fry me.
yeah,
That last like 200, 150.
yeah, I mean it's rough. I feel like in the 15 of the mile, you get to the last 400 or 300 meters, and most of the time, it's like you're just giving everything you got, and your body's just like oh my god, I
Yeah,
can't
you're
move
struggling.
anymore. So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, but I mean, regardless, successful outing. Especially as a freshman, just being randomly thrown into a DMR at your conference meet, like that I don't know specifically what your mental game is, but from for most freshmen I would assume that there might be a decent amount of anxiety or like nervousness of like, oh shoot, like this is my opportunity, this is where
Mhm.
I got to perform, I gotta I wouldn't say directly uh it should be like correlated towards the success of you have of yourself, but it's like you're gonna have those feelings of like, oh, I can't let down my coach, I can't let down my team, something like
Yeah,
that. So especially as
it's
a
always on the relays.
exactly, especially as a freshman, because you're not like fully, I guess, uh, like comfortable with how's the best way to describing this? Like you're still warming up to the team culture. Does that make sense? Like
Mhm.
you could be really fast, but you could still internally feel like you have to prove to yourself and prove to others that you belong. Does that
Yeah,
does that make sense? It doesn't mean that you should act that way because I think that if you make it on a team, that's alone in itself means that you belong. But it's
yeah.
just like sometimes we just add extra pressure on our shoulders that we just can't get off until we actually go out and do and perform. So, but anyways, so let's talk about like well, first of all, academically, what major are you?
I'm in bio. Yeah, I major in
Bio.
bio, 3 PA.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So no joke, no joke. You're not in some like uh psychology or marketing or
all
um
bio.
bio. So yeah. So this Yeah, so you got quite the workload, and I understand that because I'm mechanical engineering, so like,
Yeah, I
bro,
know you got more than me, man.
no, I don't know, bro. I mean, like, my stuff is hard, but our stuff is hard is in different ways. But uh, bio majored, I mean, and you're running 412 as a freshman at a mid-major school at a group of five school, like, and I guarantee you that the practices and the time and the commitment that it takes every single day is that's like, bro, all props to you, man. Like, you are doing an amazing job. Like the moment you start to think like, oh man, like, oh, I didn't run like 406 and I didn't go, like, sometimes you gotta like step back in retrospect and be like, dude, like,
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot and I'm doing it well. So I don't know exactly what your grades were, but if you made it this far, I'd assume your grades are somewhat okay.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Definitely harder to find the balance at the beginning, but getting used to it now, and it's better.
exactly. So what do you think the number one struggle that first semester of like of that mental battle of trying to prioritize school versus running? What do you think the number one challenge of that was?
Definitely just want to prioritize what, because my old mentality in high school definitely was not the most balanced. I will not lie. I definitely struggled and was could be considered more of an athlete student at the time instead of student athlete. I always kind of just mix my priorities around. But now knowing it's college is a real deal, paying for classes and everything, like knock my head in the right place, right? And no, it's not sweet anymore. Just gotta take everything serious, and yeah, just apply myself as hard as I am on the track.
Okay. So the hardest thing, the challenge was figuring out what to prioritize because
Yeah,
I
because
just, oh, you can say what you're gonna say.
oh, okay. Just yeah, because I always thought like multitasking was a thing, but yeah, no. Like statistically and scientifically proven, you can't. You always put one like you put more eggs in one basket than the other at all times. So you just got to know when to do
Yeah. And
that. Yeah.
I assume you're one of the guys that has very like high belief factors in themselves to think that they can go professionally in both ways, in both in the biofield and, fingers crossed in the track and field space. So obviously, if we're playing odds game, it's probably a lot likely that you graduate, with your bio degree and you go in the bio professional field. But that's not to say that you can't still dream big and still continue
Yeah.
to pursue towards that other goal in the track space. Because, like, if you have this opportunity at UTSA to just continue developing, keep getting better, like, you don't know what's going to happen and you shouldn't set a limit on yourself. So, but like, I'm just curious how, because you're class of 25, correct?
In high school, yes.
Yes. Okay, so class of 25. So what was kind of your recruiting journey for you? And as much as you can say and you can tell, because I know there's a few things that, trust me, that you have to be a little hesitant about, like communication with coaches and whatnot. I don't know, maybe
Mm,
your entire recruiting journey you can be completely open with, but as much as you're comfortable with, if you're kind
okay.
of shifting your perspective towards like, okay, if I want to redo my entire recruiting journey again, maybe what's one thing you talk about what was it like, and then the second thing is talk about what is one thing that I would change differently.
All right. So definitely reaching out a little earlier. I wasn't as confident with my times as I should have been, but also I hit all of the marks I wanted to my senior year. But I was definitely a late recruit to here too, because I was offered a few like schools to go visit, but it was all a matter of like would my parents like be willing to take me to, because they're
Hmm.
not just gonna let me drive myself out to like 8 hours, 9 hours in Texas just to go visit a campus,
Yeah.
and it's like for it to like not doing research before and like knowing that it's more than likely already isn't for me academically.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing. It's academics first because here we have a UT Health merger and stuff going on. So that means like master's degree programs with like the University of Texas Health System. Like it really helps with the resume, and it's just a great program overall. That
Mm-hmm.
was a main that was a main factor of me coming here. And at the time, I wanted to do more physical therapy and stuff instead of PA. But either way, making that switch, it's not much of a big deal here because it's such a broad, like just a broad school and with a lot of majors and a lot of options. So I'd say that's the first factor that people should look for while being recruited, whether it's D1, D2, D3, NAIA, JUCO. Doesn't matter as long as it's right for you career wise. And if you feel like you have a chance at the pros and like you're already excelling, like out of the gate in high school, I'd say shoot for that in a big school. And if not, just transfer. But just find what works for you. Make sure you love the place you're at, and yeah, just find your family. Make sure you make the most out of your visits. Meet the most people that you can.
Okay. Okay. So, what did your what was which school was your first offer? Any school? Which school was your first Division 1 offer? And then what were the times you had in the moment when the UTSA coach said, "Hey, you can join our team"? And I don't know if you're on scholarship or not, but
Yeah, I'm on a bit of scholarship,
okay.
but not like a full or anything because they save that for later, like once you're scoring for conference and stuff like that.
Okay.
Right. But my first offer definitely was UTRGV, and as you don't know where that school is, that's the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. That's where I'm from
Okay.
personally, so it'd be staying
Yeah.
home
I
and
yeah. I had a friend that went there for a year. Um, he ran there for a year, but
okay,
yeah, and unfortunately, it didn't work out for him after a year. But I did have a friend that go there.
okay, cool. I think you're wearing a VCU shirt too.
Yeah, yeah. This is where I went for my first year of school. I ran at VCU, um, and then I transferred to UNF. But
Yeah, that's cool. I was thinking about going there too because my freshman and sophomore year I was in Virginia as well. So I was
really,
just yeah, my
yeah.
freshman and sophomore
No
year
way. Wait,
I was
where
on the
part of
East Coast.
Virginia?
Nova, I was in
Oh,
Fairfax. So
okay,
I was in the Patriot District. So I had a few friends that have made it to Virginia Tech, Eastern Michigan, Michigan
okay.
State.
Wait,
Yeah.
are you Oh my gosh, who is the guy you're talking about for Eastern Michigan?
Isaac Garcia.
Yeah, I had him on the pod.
Yeah.
He was literally the first episode of my podcast. That's pretty crazy. That's
Yeah, I've known
insane.
him. He was a senior my no, he was a junior while I was a freshman over there.
That's pretty crazy. That's
Yeah.
really cool. Um,
Yeah.
so you probably know a lot of all the big Nova guys. Then did you?
Yeah, like I know Nyan, I know Isaac,
Okay,
John. He's back at Alabama now, just finishing or he just finished up.
yeah,
Um, I mean, I didn't know him like a lot, but I knew Patrick, I knew Will
okay,
before going to New Mexico and Air Force.
okay. Well, you knew Patrick.
Charlie, yeah,
How did you know
yeah.
Patrick? What?
I've raced him a few times and then just got to talk with him. It was he was a pretty cool guy, and then Andre too, his teammate.
Wow, really?
They're all pretty cool guys.
Okay. So, but not me? Wow. Okay.
I didn't buy no
Well,
Cole too.
bro, oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay. So apparently I'm just kind of the guy in the shadows then that just doesn't
I don't know,
exist.
man.
Apparently. No, I didn't
We know each
even
other now. That's cool.
no, I literally like I was as standards go nowadays, I was not good at all until my senior year. Like I don't know. I could explain my entire story and how it went, and the ramifications of COVID, and like just everything that was involved in that, and my progression out of high school. But just know that like I was not good at all until my senior year, and then my senior year, all of a sudden it was like I just became a beast, and then all of these coaches like all of a sudden were like, how in the world is this kid so good all of a sudden? Like I actually had a few of my teammates. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna get scolded for this, but uh, maybe they won't know the exact teammates, but a few of my teammates before my senior year. Okay, well, no, my summer, my senior year when I started to get good, and like all of a sudden I was like, it was just a whole other level. Some of them thought that like I could have been cheating or something. It was crazy. It was, I was like, like I like there's no way I was getting these allegations because I just was not good at all my junior year or whatever. But um, anyways, yeah, that's insane because like I'm really close with Patrick and I'm really close with Andre and I'm really close with Cole and I'm really close with there's probably so many guys that like or just like there's a middleman connection there, but that's crazy.
Yeah, man, it's just small world, you know.
Yeah, that's what high school did you go to in Virginia?
I went to Robinson, James W. Robinson. It was a secondary, so it was like seventh grade to seniors in high school.
Okay,
So it was weird.
I don't think I've heard of that. No,
And we
but
were 6A school. But
oh wow, 6A school. Yeah, so no, that's that's insane. That's crazy.
yeah. So I was thinking about going VCU, and but honestly, I think it was just like the transition of coming back from Texas, going up there for college. You know, that was kind of like
Yeah,
shaky and not guaranteed if I was going to get any money or not.
yeah. I had a teammate at VCU that he was originally from Houston. His name was
Oh
Naheem.
wow.
Naheem, yeah, Naheem Atupalo. He's just graduated this year. He just finished his fifth year. He's also mechanical engineering, but yeah. So um, trying to yeah. I mean that's pretty crazy. Like, because you were probably emailing Savage at the same time when I was there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like beginning of summer, going into senior year.
yeah. So that's a crazy world right there. That's insane.
Yeah.
I might say something again that's gonna get me in trouble, but let's say for your specific circumstances, okay. Let's say you probably made the right decision.
Okay.
Let's just say you probably made the right decision. If you can infer what I'm trying to say. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I mean, so were you looking like what other schools in Virginia or just VCU?
Lynchburg at the time when Reed was still there,
Okay,
and George Mason as well.
okay. So you
Um,
you were
yeah,
talking.
but
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you saying?
no, no, you're good. But other than that, that was really it.
Okay, so you're also talking to Coach Gerard too at some
Mhm.
point. Yeah, yeah. So, uh, I'm curious. I'm curious. What were your okay? So what did you end? So you were 420 your senior year, right?
I was 418 in the senior year,
Okay,
and
418 in the 16.
in the
So you
16.
so you were saying okay, so you were just converting it 420 mile indoors. I
Mhm.
got you. I got you. So what were your sophomore and junior year times then?
Oh, this is a big switch up, man. Because I made the move from Virginia back to Texas,
Yeah.
so it's just a big change of coaching. So I kind of stayed a little stagnant my junior year. Well, my sophomore year, I think I got pretty good compared to my freshman year. But
Okay.
senior or sophomore year, I got my mile time down to 427, 426.
Okay.
My 800 from like 203 down to 159.
Okay.
Um, my 2 mile wasn't really that strong. It was 950, and then cross, I just wasn't really that good at cross. I went 1636.
Okay. So you're more of a track guy throughout your high school
Yeah,
career? Yeah.
I'm way more of a track guy.
Yeah. What was your high school? What was your senior? Like, did you ever get your senior time down in cross country?
Yeah, I did,
Okay.
thankfully. But yeah, I was mainly recruited here off of my 5K and my mile time.
Okay. What was your 5K then?
15:29 is what got me.
Okay. Wow. So you did get your 5K down your senior year then.
Yeah, my junior year was my PR was like 16:12 in
Okay.
junior year. So senior
Yeah.
year, I definitely had a good breakthrough in like tactics and stuff like that.
Yeah. So no, that's a crazy jump. That's a good jump. Um. Hmm. Yeah. So no, that's crazy. That's I'm still trying. I'm still like I don't even know how it's even works out how you knew those guys because that's insane. So like what were you? So your sophomore year, did you were you at the state meet then?
Yeah, I was at the 6A state meet my sophomore year or my freshman and sophomore year.
Okay, okay, that's right because they divide the
Mhm.
classes. So you were like somewhere in Virginia Beach, right?
Yeah, we were in like Norfolk.
Norfolk. Okay, yeah. So we had ours in at Liberty University. So
Oh, nice.
I was wondering if you were there for the our state 4x8 that went viral. I don't know if you knew about that.
I think I heard some. I don't think I've ever like seen it though, but I've heard that something went down.
Oh my gosh. So I'll make this a quick story because this isn't supposed to be about me, but now that we've connected on a different level, we I can make this story because this is more about you. But senior year of 4x8, okay, it's uh me, Travis. You know Travis Albon?
I think so. I think he follows
Yeah,
me on Strava.
yeah. Travis Albon, Andre, and Patrick. Okay, senior 4x8. Okay, Patrick. Three of us are seniors. Patrick is a junior. Okay, I'm first leg. I get us like 157. Okay, and I come through this like right behind like in second, right behind Ty Blair. You know Ty Blair? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Ty Blair's a dog. So it was Ty Blair, and then it was me. I handed off to Andre, and it's then second leg. It's kind of the same, but then oh my gosh, uh oh I was thinking forgetting the school for a second. It's been so long. Blacksburg, okay.
Yeah.
Blacksburg comes up, and they kind of like we come into first, and the Blacksburg comes into second, and then they hand it off to Travis, and Travis like still keeps the lead, and then it's literally Patrick versus Connor Rutherford.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's at Georgia now.
Connor Rutherford, yeah, on the final leg. Okay, literally like, and all four of the guys that ran uh for Blacksburg, they ended up going D1, and then three of the four out of us, Andre could have gone. Okay, listen. If you're listening to this right now, okay, let's be honest. You could have gone D1, but you decided not to. Okay. Obviously, there's a lot more factors in play, but he was a D1 caliber athlete. Okay. He decided not to, but let's just say all four of us had D1 potential, and 7 out of 8 of us went D1. Okay. So this was like a crazy standoff. Literally, it comes down to the last 100 meters. Okay, they like literally like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay. They cross the line at the exact same time. They both fall down, face plant, the batons go everywhere. Okay. And we look up the scoreboard, and I'm just standing there like, who won this race? Am I about to be a state champion, or did we just come second in like the closest ever race? I look at the scoreboard, it says the exact same time on both
Oh, shit.
scoreboards, down to the hundredth of a second. Okay. So then we're waiting there, and we're trying to figure out, and both of us are like, what in the world just happened? Like, what did we win or not? Okay. We waited a whole another 3 hours before they actually came up with the final results. and we lost by 0.0003 seconds.
Wow. Dang. So
Point
by a
zero 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 three seconds.
10,000 or a 10,000th of a second. Damn.
Yes.
That's wild, man.
And we're just standing there like, because it was literally like our like 4A is so incredibly stacked that it was probably one of our only opportunities to ever win a state championship, either as a team or individually. And except for uh, after I graduated, and then Patrick won a few individual. And I'm saying during the years when I was there, like for the 4 years, 4A was so stacked because Black Cirque was still incredibly good. Western Albemarle was still incredibly good. Loudoun Valley still had guys like that were that trained under like the God team. You know what I'm saying? So
that was Jake too, right? Rimmel?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Jake Rimmel. And so it was like, so I was 0.0003 seconds away from being a state champion, and it went viral on Mile Split. It actually went viral on like the national news, and it was like so embarrassing because every time I would look at my phone or scroll through Instagram, I swear I would see it, and I was like, why you guys gotta play this over and over and over again? So, anyways, cool little story. Enough about me though. I want to get back to you. So let's talk about maybe a little bit of the future. So you're a freshman right now. You ran 412. You ran 355 in the 15, correct?
Yeah.
355 and then 1458 in the 5K and 2527 in the 8K.
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously Mile is probably the best out of all of those. 8K, for a freshman, 25-27 is still pretty good for a freshman. That's still pretty good. So I guess like I guess the first step for you in your mind is probably, okay, what is the best path? What is the best path towards scoring a conference? Correct. And so we're thinking Mile indoors again next year. Is that like our plan?
Hopefully 1500 outdoor this upcoming conference.
Okay, so you think you can score upcoming conference this wow, so you're
hopefully. It's just the goal as of right now is what my coach told me is just make the final. Just race a prelim like a final. Do your best to get into the final. If it doesn't happen, you have the 5K the next day. Okay. I'm like, okay.
So is your final top 8 or top 12?
It's top because it's the top 2. Yeah, it's the first 2 who finish, and then it's the next 6. So yeah, I think it's 10 for us. Yeah, it's like the next 6 fastest times.
Okay, so you can make the final and still not score.
Yeah.
So what do you think the time is you're gonna have to run to get you in?
I was texting a friend earlier, and I was thinking like probably gonna happen to be like for sure sub 350.
Okay.
I don't think the range is gonna be like 346 or like 348, maybe 349 low.
Okay, and so the conversion between a 412 mile and a 1500 is about like that's like a 354 1500. So we're gonna have to see a major PR out of you.
Yeah, another one. Yeah.
So okay, so my statement earlier about saying that making a big jump like that again is probably a very improbable thing. You're just gonna go ahead and probably just disobey everything that I said, and I'm gonna see you run like a 347 1500 at conference, and I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm just never gonna talk again on this podcast. So that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna knock on wood right now, but hey, man, like, not impossible, improbable,
Yeah,
and
because
sometimes in this sport, like, it's silly to say, but sometimes you gotta act delusional to actually like get where you want to
yeah,
be.
I'm a firm believer in that for sure.
So, I mean, that's probably how your mentality was going into the conference mile originally, because it's like, oh, my coach is entering a 420 guy when 406 is gonna make the final. Like what in the world am I supposed to do with this? Um, and so maybe there was a little bit of that same mentality, like I just got to go out there and I just got to run a
Yeah,
406 mile, and you didn't get there, but you still ran an 8-second PR, which is like super cool. And you think you got some good feedback from your coach afterwards. Like your coach was like, "Hey, like good job," you know?
yeah. It was that meet. It was more of a matter of just not being afraid and just going out there and competing. Because that's how he tells me to attack every race. Is just go out and compete because he knows that's how I am mentally, and that if I think about it too much, then it's just gonna everything's gonna go out the window. So I just kind of just stick out there, hold on for as long as I can, and then that's usually when the results come in, for me at least.
Okay, I got you. So conference, when you like, what day and what time are you exactly racing?
I believe next week. I think he actually messaged me. I can check that, but it's next
Okay.
Thursday is
Ne-
when the 1500 prelim is.
Next Thursday. Okay.
Hmm.
And then is the prelim, is your conference meet a three day meet?
No, ours is 2 day.
Ooh, okay. Because sometimes for the 15, if they do prelims for the 15 in conference, they give you a gap day. But oh no, you're gonna be doing
Yeah,
back to back. So
it was just like that for indoor too.
oof, yikes. So hey, yikes for me, not yikes for you. You got it though. You got it.
I'll try to attack it as well as I can, but whatever
That's
happens, happens.
that's all you can do, bro. Like
Hmm.
just don't kind of just pretend. I could give you some advice, but something tells me you're probably already mentally strong enough to just kind of just block out everything, focus on your task at hand. At the end of the day, you step on that line, and you're sure your training will go into it. Sure, your racing knowledge and your study about, or your coach of how they're gonna teach you to attack the race, but you step on the line, and you know nobody else can help you but yourself. So
Yeah,
you got to be ready to just you know adapt to anything, because you could go into a race with a certain race plan, and you think they're going to go out fast, but they just go insanely tactical. They go through like 800 to like
mhm,
210, and then all of a sudden you have to figure out how you're going to manage closing in like a 54, the
yeah.
last 400 or something like that. And it's like,
Because I know it could definitely go both ways. Because like each conference is different. I know for us, there might be a little more depth than like the other conferences here. Like let's just say like that the Southland Conference. Because the way I was prepping up for indoor was just watching like films of their race, and then I was asking. Well, I'm like a big. I'd like to say I'm a student of the game, right?
mhm,
And I reach out asking like for tips with other guys in the other conference. I'm like, how did you handle this?
yeah,
How did you handle that? Like, how do you prep up for that? And like mid race, what were you thinking? Like honestly, it could sound like I was pestering them a bit, but I was just curious, and I just wanted to know like
yeah,
how they took it out. But I know it's a big difference with our conference because they usually go at it from the gun, no matter if it's a prelim or the final.
yeah. I mean,
But SLC is definitely way more like tactical, but you could definitely see the pace change in that you have to be ready for both.
I think like trying everything that you can, and just learning as much information as you can. It's better than not doing it at all. So sometimes whether it's with anyone, maybe you're asking your teammates for advice, you're asking your coaches, what should I do? Maybe it's not even, maybe it's another athlete you look up to. Like, I would just like take it like you said earlier. You're a student of the game. You're trying to learn more. It's better that you put yourself out there and you have no regrets at the end of the day than saying like, oh, maybe if I would have asked beforehand, then it could have gone differently. Because that's the last thing you want. You don't want that question in the back of
Yeah,
your
you don't
mind.
want the what ifs.
You don't want the what ifs because unfortunately we only get normally 4 years in this sport, like in specifically in NCAA Division One, 4 years, 5 years if you're lucky, and it's over with. You can't,
Yeah.
you can't go back. But what's so cool about our sport, and what's so cool about, well, I guess you can look at it two different ways. But what I think, in my perspective, what's cool about our sport is that we get three like times 3 seasons to capitalize on our training throughout the entire year, cross country, indoor, and outdoor. And
Yeah.
so with other sports, it's like, hey, they do all this off season training. They grind, 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 grind. And there's some of the like football players out there, football players for UTSA, like some of them, they don't even get to play at all. Like
Yeah.
they do all this effort and they don't even get an opportunity to compete. And it's like, oh boy, we have 3 conference championships a year. We have 3 NCAA championships a year. It's like
Hmm.
it's like you could look at it both ways and be like, oh man, we have 3 championships a year and we have to like, train and
We have to, you're doing it longer.
we don't get any time off, and it's like we only get like 2 weeks over the summer and we're training for cross, and it's like yeah, you could look at it that way, but then again, it's only for a limited amount of time. 4,
Yeah.
maybe 5 years, it's all over afterwards. So you can't take it back afterwards. Like there's no going back. And it's like it's such a special moment and such a special opportunity to be given, like to compete for a Division 1 team, because let's be honest, especially in track and field, the NCAA Division 1 system is as close as any other college system to a professional like league. Like the gap
Yeah.
between NCAA Division 1 and professional running is the smallest gap out of any other sport out there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like maybe you want to share some thoughts about that, just like taking advantage of your opportunities and stuff like that.
I mean, I've always been one to seize the moment and just definitely take advantage of any opportunity I could get. Because I mean, for my freshman year, I was not the best, but definitely worked my way up to being on top of the totem pole of my team, of my then high school team, and then transferring that same mentality to work my way to the top on any team that I am on. So that's just my mentality. Like I like to try to be the best person on the team and just really be like motivating, trying to lead by example and things of that sort.
Okay. And you like the team culture at UTSA?
Yeah, it's pretty chill. I like it.
Okay. Um, have you made some good friends with maybe some of the upperclassmen, the juniors, seniors, or if you have grad students?
Yeah, definitely. We have one senior and then we have one like fifth year who's
Okay.
hopefully coming back for cross again for a sixth year. I don't know. Eligibility's crazy, but
Wow,
he's a cool guy. So we'd love to have him back.
that's crazy. Yeah. So, but you think they've been like pretty good role models and shown you how to
Yeah, absolutely.
because
Especially, oh my bad.
no, 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 go ahead. Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
Oh yeah, well, most of us are freshmen this year. Like I think if I'm counting, I'm gonna just probably like it helps when I say their name, so I'm gonna just tally it off. So it's me, Austin, Mike, Michi, Chase, Israel. I think that's really it. Yeah, I think we have seven freshman guys.
Okay.
Yeah, seven freshman guys. Actually, eight freshman guys.
Wow.
So we're relatively young team. And then this next upcoming year, we have 5 guys incoming already.
Wow.
And on the girl side, it's even crazier. We have 13 girl recruits coming in next year. I don't know how that's possible, but yeah, I mean, new
Um,
faces, new people to learn.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a big class right there. I was gonna say 8 freshmen is kind of unheard of nowadays, but
Yeah,
13,
we're all extremely
13
young.
is like you're just making a whole different team. That's like you're fresh slated. So uh
Mm.
yeah, I'm very curious. We might have to talk about this after we go, off live or whatever, but I'm very curious about what the coach's decisions of the personnel on the team between this year and next year was going to be.
Yeah.
So, but we might talk about that later. But anyways, um we're going to get towards kind of like the ends of the podcast now. So, I'm going to ask you like kind of one more serious question, then we're going to end it on maybe like a lighter note question. So, first thing is that who I'd assume that, since you made it this far, you have maybe been in the, like, invested in the pro track and field space for some time now. Like,
Oh yeah.
some pros that, are competing right now or have competed. So, like, who is, that pro that you kind of looked up to for a long time and why?
Like whether I know him or not.
Whether you know him or not, no, go for it.
That's a hard one because I mean I like having that firm mentality and just like no budging for anyone. Like if I were to say someone like currently, I like the way Marco Langan thinks. I know it's very
Really?
controversial, but I love the mentality. Like cuz
Okay.
I've always been a big basketball fan
Yeah.
and I love Kobe and he seems like that kind of
Okay.
mentality. I
Okay.
mean, despite maybe the some of the some like kind of offhanded comments, I feel like everyone sometimes thinks those things, they just don't say it. But anyways, I think it's an honest approach on how he feels,
Okay.
and I mean he sets himself up to like it seems like he gives me that vibe that he likes to have a target on his back
You
to know
know,
that he can back himself up.
I'm gonna back you up on that one. I like Margot Langdon a lot. I think he adds a lot of spice to the sport. I think what a lot of people don't realize is like there's a lot more guys like Margot Langdon in other professional sports out there or other college sports than
Yeah.
track. Like we sometimes get a little too kumbaya, like, oh, it's okay, like, no, like sometimes
Sometimes,
you
yeah, you
gotta.
got to put your foot down,
Sometimes
man.
it's a dogfight, and you just, you like part of the sport is getting into other people's heads. Like as we both know, your mental goes a long way in track. If you have a bad mental during a race, or you have a bad mental training leading up to a race, like you're not gonna do well. I don't care what physical talent, what kind of insane aerobic system you have, you're not gonna do well because you're gonna step on the line and you're literally putting your body in a moment of extreme stress and fight or flight mode. And if you cannot train yourself to harness that, you're not going to do well. Like you're, and I feel like I've been in that position before where I have not been mentally prepared for a race. And maybe if
Yeah.
you have as well. And that's that feeling of like the gun goes off and a lap in, you're just sitting in the back of the pack and you're just like, why am I racing right now? Like you don't even feel like, you have any kind of desire to compete. And it's like, it's because your mental isn't in the right space. It's like, you're not thinking
Yeah.
about why you're competing for the right reasons. So, I think he's really good for the sport. Sometimes, you know, like you said, it's very controversial, but sometimes we need controversy because that's just what makes things fun. Like
Mhm.
like not in such the negative way. You know what I'm saying? Not in like not in the personal like negative controversy where it's like he's personally attacking someone, but it's like more like, when he does his post rate interviews and he's like, yeah, I went out there and fought, and like these other guys, they just don't have as much fight as me. Like, I think that's really cool. But I definitely agree with that. So,
Yeah.
okay. So to end this one, this is a question I ask all my guests at the end. Okay.
All right.
And this question is, if you could play any other sport professionally, what sport would it be and why?
Oof. I don't know, man, because I've started. I don't know if I would, to
You
be
don't.
honest, because I started running when I was really young.
Okay.
So I mean, I was in like kindergarten. I kid you not, like just running miles like for PE class, and then I just happened to be really good at it. So I just more or less stuck with it. I mean, I guess if I were to want to go pro in any other sport, and I had to say something, I would probably say basketball for
Okay.
sure. Love basketball.
Okay. Okay. I was gonna say there has to be at least one sport that like
Yeah.
you'd go pro in. So basketball. That's valid. That's valid.
Mhm.
I would. I would maybe basketball will definitely be up there for me too. I think I'm very much torn between football and basketball. I actually used to
Yeah.
play football, but uh, I mean, and then I got injured a bunch, and I said, hey, I'm not. I'm gonna translate my athletic talent to something more non-contact. So, but yeah, basketball would be up there too. So, but anyways, I really appreciate you coming on. This was some great insight. Just like talking about specifically the transition from high school to freshman year and just how you've been able to captivate on your opportunities and doing some crazy things in such a limited amount of time within the sport is just it's just really cool. So
I appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
um but dude, you're gonna kill it, like, and I have no doubt that you're gonna give your 100% best at conference coming up, regardless if you get to if you place a conference, regardless if you even get to the final, even regardless if you PR, like what you've been able to do so far your freshman year, like round of applause to that. 412 in the mile, it's a big deal, and then especially being a bio major. So, um, anyways, if you have some final thoughts to share, maybe you wanna one thing to leave with the listener or not.
Well, I just want to say thank you once again, man, for having me. It means a lot. I mean, first ever podcast, so definitely something I wanted to check off my bucket list, and I thank you for that opportunity. And I love giving people insight on like how I think because I feel like I could be a very relatable person when it comes to stuff like that. And for those who happen to be watching, I appreciate your ears a lot. And I mean, do they have any questions? Or does
Uh,
anyone have
it
any
does not
questions?
look like they have any questions.
All right. Well,
So,
I mean, with that, I'd like to say thank you once again. And yeah, it just means a lot for you to have me on here.
okay. All right, man. Have a great evening. Um,
Likewise.
recover, get mentally prepared, get ready for this conference race. So I know you're gonna kill it, but um, but don't leave yet. I'm gonna just end the live there.
All right. Got you.